All right, y'all. Florida Derby time. Grade one. Purse is back up to $1 million in this one. Mile and an eighth, Gulfstream Park. Um, I don't know what to say about this field. Probably slightly better than the Louisiana Derby. If you remember, I wasn't too impressed with that field. Not too impressed with this field either. Um, Favorite looks very strong. Forte, you probably know him. He's a 2-year old champion. So let's just go ahead and get into the horses we've got here. Number one, Jungfrau. Jungfrau, 20 to 1. Arrogate horse. Out of Tappet on the other side. So I think I probably got him as the best bred horse in this race. Paco Lopez is riding him, trained by Bill Mott. Now, last out, sixth place, way off the pace in the Withers. Before that, he ran a maiden special weight at Gulfstream. Lost it by a nose. This horse is still a maiden. So I'm not really a big fan of running maidens in Grade 1 stakes races. I don't really think it should be allowed. But there we have it. They got a morning odds 20 to 1. Sure, it will be much higher if you want to go for a long shot. I don't think there's too much to like about the horse besides a breeding, though. Number two, West Coast Cowboy, 20 to 1 morning odds on that one. Last year's Kentucky Derby winning jockey Sonny Leone riding this one. As I was saying before, you win those big races, you start to get more mounts. So we got him here. This is on a Saffie Joseph horse. I think Saffie's got 4 horses riding in this one. Um, what can we say about this one? Third in the Holy Bull. Before that, fourth in an optional claimer at Gulfstream. Once again, these times aren't too great. A bunch of 144s and mile and 1/16. His OC was optional claimer was mile at 137. So, and he was way off that pace. 11 lengths off fourth. Another one, don't like him too much. He's got an okay workout coming into this. A lot of these horses just really seem to be like they're cut out for more of a sprint. Maybe even some milers in this one. But I just don't see a lot of speed this year. This horse is another one, West Coast Cowboy. He's in there. Don't see much to like about him, though. Number three, Shaq Diesel. Not a lot to like about this one either, besides the name. Decent breeding. Um, Sire's Kosan, a distorted humor horse. Tis now on the other side. They got the morning odds at 30 to 1 on this one. I don't really get why it's 30 to 1. I don't see how he's so much worse than these other 2 horses that we just talked about. Um, Actually, she had a 59-second workout, which that's probably the best thing about him. Um, 10th in the Risen Star. That was a slow race, and 10th, 16 lengths off of that. This is not going to get it done. Before that, he had a win in an optional claimer at Tampa. Uh, he got the win once again. Slow time, mile 40. That was 130, 140, 141 in a mile and 40. Yeah, that's just slow. That's just slow. I mean, what can I say? Number four, Mage. Good Magic horse, thus the name Mage. Good Magic was a curling horse, remember, a few years back. Um, Ran alongside Justify. Wasn't able to beat him. His mother's father's Big Brown. So you got Curlin and Big Brown as your 2 grandfathers. Good breeding. I like this horse coming up. I guess you could say potentially in the Fountain of Youth. He ran fourth in the Fountain of Youth. He had only had one race before that. Maiden special weight. Ran 7 furlongs, 122. So a decent start for this horse. Second race, he bumped it up to the Fountain of Youth. He ran fourth, so not bad. But I mean, that wasn't that impressive of a race either. Forte just kind of took that one pretty easily. Luis Saez is going to be riding him this time. He did get the win in this race, 2019 Maximum Security. I'm sure you all remember that horse, that controversial horse. Um, I don't think Mage is Maximum Security. Um, I mean, just looking at the 7 furlongs. I mean, Maximum Security 7 furlongs. I think it was like 120 coming into this race. So another one that's a decent horse. Still coming to form. He's only ridden in 2 races. So you may want to, you may like this horse to kind of step it up. After you get a couple races under your belt, and they kind of get a feel for the horse, what he likes to do, horses can tend to run a lot better. So this could be his race right here. I think Size is going to have to get out front. The horse has run out front before. He's only run 2 races before, though. That's the thing. There's a lot of front runners in this race, but not true front runners. There are horses that have taken the lead kind of because they had to, but they did it. They aren't the ones that just hang back regardless of what the pace is. Don't care if we're going 52 seconds, still going to hang back 5 lengths off that pace. They're not like that. These horses will go. There's a lot of them, and I think it's going to make for an interesting pace. It's going to make for a very interesting pace, I think. And the reason why, I might as well go ahead and get into that, is I was going to say Mage, I think he's going to have to kind of get the lead and kind of take off and just go away with it, I think, to get the win here. However, I don't think he's going to get the lead. I think the lead's going to go to the number 5 here, Mr. Peaks. They got him 30-1. Another one, like, what does that even mean with any of these horses? Mr. Peaks, couple of 6 furlongers under his belt. Another Saffy Joseph horse. Horse who was sired by, what was this one? Yes. California Chrome. California Chrome horse. Another horse that was well liked, highly touted. Great name. Wasn't that fast, though. I mean, he could handle the distance. I mean, not to take nothing away from him. He could definitely handle the distance, and he could keep good even pace. It's not a blazing speed along with that distance from California Chrome. But we got this Mr. Peaks horse in here. Like I said, he's only run 2 6-furlong races. So we'll have to see how he stretches out. I do like him to take the lead. He took the lead with a 45-second and opening half. Not that any of these other horses haven't done that. Mage has done that as well. It's in the Fountain of Youth they didn't decide to go for that. I didn't think they're going to do that here. I don't know if they're going to try to hold back Mr. Peaks or not. Edwin Gonzalez is riding him. Don't think he's going to do that. I think he's probably just going to go for it. And that's why I expect him to be on the lead. This could be your upset because if he gets out there on the lead, he could just leave him. Same thing I think Mage would have to do because I think getting that early position, I think, is only going to benefit one of those horses. I think one of those horses that's up early is going to do well and come into a good position to close, and I think the rest of them will probably fall off. Could Mr. Peaks be that one horse that gets away? Who knows? That's really a gamble. That's why some people call it gambling. That's part of handicapping when you're looking at this is you really don't know how this horse will handle the distance. And the only thing you can do is guess based on the breeding. The only thing I noticed is sire's California Chrome, Derby winner. He's one of the highest earning horses of all time. Of course, who knows what that really counts for because we live in this bubble economy we've had for the past 20 years. So the numbers and the money are completely inflated. I think we should go back and probably use the price of gold to retract these earnings that we've seen over the past few years if we really want to start making historical comparisons. But anyway, back to this race. Mr. Peaks, like him to get out front. Don't know if he'll make it. but there's definitely could be an angle there, and they got him at 30 to 1 in the morning odds. Probably will be much higher than that, I'm thinking. So he may be worth a bet for a long shot. Maybe throw him into an exotic as well. Number 6, Nautical Star, another horse that's only put up a couple of short races, a couple of 6 furlongers, got a win, 110. It's got a 59-second breeze. Lionel Reyes riding him, another Saffie Joseph horse, 30 to 1 as well. On paper, he's almost the same as Mr. Peaks, out of Dixie Union. Dixie Union was in California Chrome. Similar on paper, except for really the strategy. This horse doesn't take the lead, but he's been in a couple 6 furlong races, so he's been on the lead. Don't really know what they're going to do. I'm not expecting them to change the strategy, seeing how he's coming off a win after stalking at pace. They'll probably try to do something similar here. Probably try to hold him back a little bit because of the distance. But I mean, hey, it's a long shot you could go with, simply based on the fact that we don't know what kind of distance this horse can really put up, and that's the biggest question mark when you're looking at these 3-year-olds coming up and boosting up the distance race by race is how will they handle the extra distance. I mean, and a lot of times that half a furlong is everything. The half a furlong, the full furlong. There is such a difference between a mile and a mile and an eighth. I mean, 8 furlongs, 9 furlongs sounds like what the hey? It's 1 extra furlong. It's a lot. I mean, look at the numbers and look at how many horses run blazingly fast miles, but so few run blazingly fast mile and 1/16 or mile and eighth. That's just kind of the way it is. That's kind of the point where you separate the milers from the routers, I guess you would say. Number 7, Il Miracolo. Probably said that wrong. Messed up the accent. I guess it's supposed to be Italian. Jesus Rios riding this one. Another one they got at 30 to 1 morning odds. Couple of decent workouts. Probably more of a short distance horse. Bred by out of Gunrunner though. Son of Gunrunner. So he's got that distance in there with Gunrunner. Gunrunner's sire was a Candy Ride, and his mother's father's Tappet. So another one that's got the breeding to go the distance. Just don't know if he's got the speed to keep up at this, at least at this age, this time. Last out was in the Fountain of Youth. Got smoked, 19 lengths that is, behind Forte. That's definitely not going to get it done. He ran the Holy Bull before that, 6th in that one as well. Maybe they should just take him to another track. Maybe he just doesn't like it, like South Florida. Another one I'm looking to be running out near the front, but he's going to have to run a different race. He's going to have to do something different to come through in this one, I'll tell you that. But it ain't looking like it. Number 8, Mr. Ripple. Interesting name out of Dialed In. Edgar Zayas, jockey on this one. I like Zayas. He's not a big-time jockey. He's a local guy, but knows the track decently, and, he can get things done from time to time. Not sure if this is really going to be his race, though. 30 to 1 once again on this one in the morning odds. You got at least 30 and 20 to 1s because of Forte. Morning odds 4 to 5 on him. But this Mr. Ripple here. Last out, second in an optional claimer at Gulfstream. 152, slow time, but that was a mile and an eighth, so at least he's got the distance under his belt. Before that was another optional claimer at Gulfstream at a mile. That was in 136, but he was 5 minutes off of that. Third place, Saffie Joseph horse. So, I mean, once again, somebody's going to run, if Forte just blows him away, somebody's going to run second and third. So, I mean, there's going to be a try. and probably an exacta, or possibly in a super, with one of these high odds horses probably going to be in there. And that's where I think the angle really is with a lot of these horses, is where are they going to run, or can they run up with Forte? Now, another one that could be on the lead, possibly. We'll just have to see what they do with it, honestly. Gonna have to see what they do. My instinct's just telling me they're not going to take the lead with this horse. Number 9, Cyclone Mischief, an Into Mischief horse. Mother's father's Bernardini. Decent breeding, I guess you could say. The Into Mischief horses coming of age lately. Now they got the morning on the odds of this one at 8-1. Whew. All right, finally something that's not a big long shot, right? I don't really know. Third in the Fountain of Youth. He was 7th in the Holy Bowl. Got a win at Gulfstream in an optional claimer before that, a mile in 136. So, hey, he did something good. It's one of the best races on the whole page of any of these horses. But is he going to be able to do it again? I don't know. Javier Castellano's riding him. Now, he has won this race before. Won it on, it was a 2017 Constitution. Trainers Dale Romans. So, I don't know. Minute breezing, 48-second breezing workouts. 8-1, I think, is just kind of low compared to these other horses, because I just don't really see that speed out of this horse at this distance. And he ran in the Holy Bull and the Fountain of Youth, 2 prep races for this race, didn't show much. So I'm just not expecting him to show much again here. Number 10, Fort Bragg. Gotta like that name. Home of the 82nd. Joel Rosario, jockey. We know Rosario. He's arguably the top guy right now. The other guy you could argue with him is riding a favorite, though. So that's going to hurt him in this one. This horse is trained by Bob Baffert. Trainer is switched to Baffert proxy, Tim Yakteen. So the page has him as Tim Yakteen, but he's a Baffert horse out of Tappet. So he's got the breeding, he's got the trainer, he's got the jockey. That's why they got him at 5-1. He may be able to do something here. Now, he ran out west in the San Felipe. He was, what was that, 5th place, 5 off, out of 142. And 3rd in the Los Alamitos Futurity. That was running 141. Good race. He was, what was that, 5 lengths off of that as well. No, 7, almost 8. So, I mean, he ran out west in some races that were definitely faster. Coming to this race, which probably won't be as fast, may favor this horse. You may really see a different horse emerge here. Plus, the weather's completely different. I mean, he might like this just might like the track, and just might like the climate better, I should say. Or I not necessarily the climate, but the climate along with the pace. I just don't think they're going to run like they do in California. They don't. And that might have gotten to him. So, hey, and plus he didn't have Rosario riding him before. 5-1, that's the problem. The horse isn't that great, really, on paper, outside of, Tim Yakteen and Joel Rosario. So, in the Tappet thing. So, another one, he's taken the lead before, so he's probably going to be close to that pace. It all depends on how they handle it. Now, if anybody can handle it, it's going to be Rosario, so you got to give him that. But I don't know if he's going to be able to get it home in this one, mainly because we're looking at the number 11 horse next up, the favorite 2-year-old Champion Forte. Forte, sired by Violence, which is a Medaglia d'Oro horse. Mother's father's Blame. I got a picture of Blame on my wall. beating Zenyatta there at Churchill Downs in the Breeders' Cup Classic. 4-5, as I said, morning odds on this one. Honestly, it's probably going to be lower than that. I don't think he's going to be down to a 1-9, but don't be surprised if the odds get really low on this horse. Irad Ortiz Jr. is riding him. Todd Pletcher training him. 6 Florida Derby wins for Todd Pletcher, going for lucky number 7. He won in 2021 with the same jockey. Irad Ortiz Jr. won his first Florida Derby along with him with Known Agenda. He won in 18 with Audible, 17 with Always Dreaming, 15 Materiality, 14 Constitution, and 2007 with Scat Daddy. So Todd Pletcher knows how to win this race. I think that is the all-time record for wins in this race. I didn't look it up, but I'm pretty sure that is it. This horse has got 4 straight wins. Now, he is beatable. He lost, well, that was last year. But he had to win the Hopeful, won the Breeders' Cup Futurity, won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile at Keeneland, and came out and got a win in the Fountain of Youth here at Gulfstream. Last 2 races with mile and 16th of 143. Not great, but he got the wins. He didn't need to do more than 143 when you look at those races, really. So I think he can go faster. He might need to go a little bit faster in this one. I'm not sure. We may end up with a 142 final time, or a 148 final time in this one. I don't really think so. It's probably going to be around a 149. I'm thinking because I think the pace will not get too fast. But Forte, he's the favorite, heavy favorite for a reason. We talked about that. Number 12. Took me a while to figure out how to pronounce this horse's name, and WNL. All right, and I had to listen to the race here. Sam F. Davis, he ran it, or the Remsen when they ran it, and he got the win there in the Remsen in the slop. Before that, he had another win in the slop at a mile and a maiden special weight. 138, he was in the slop. However, his last out blasted in Sam F. Davis. That was at 144. 8th in that, 19 lengths off, so just wasn't interested. Maybe he just likes the slop. That's going to be an interesting thing with this race, is the rain. As anybody knows that's been to South Florida before, this time of year, any time of the day, it could just dump a few inches of rain, and the track could go from being fast to sloppy. Unpredictably. If that happens, you want to look at this WNL horse. Jose Ortiz is riding him, so he's got an accomplished jockey. Horse is out of good magic. They got him at 6-1. Odds are kind of low. I think that's going to be higher than that. I don't think that many people are like WNL. Now it took me a while to figure out what WNL, and it's spelled Dubyuhnell. What in the world? And the first thing I thought was W. What's W? I mean, that was the 43rd president, United States. W. And so I was like, okay, it must be one of his fans. Now, W and L. His wife's name is Laura. So is it possible this horse is named after the 43rd, I could think it was probably 43rd president and first lady. I think so. I think that's what they're going with this WNL. So that being said, WNL I think is a good play if it rains in the sun. You're gonna have to watch the race and wait for this one. If it's sloppy, I like this horse. I mean, the horse likes to slop. 2 times before getting the win, I think it's a good play to go for it again. Horses running conditions. I mean, they're just like any other animal. Some like it hot, some like it not. You know what I mean? That's just how it goes. So this horse seems to like the slop. I think he could be could be a good play there, especially if it rains. Now, the pace of this race, as I was saying, it's a lot of these horses I think are really, I'll just call them out here. I've got Mr. Peaks up front, but then I also think Mage could be there. West Coast Cowboy going to be riding up front, near the front. Il Miracolo, Mr. Ripple, Fort Bragg, Cyclone Mischief as well. I got them all running near the front. They're not true front runners, though, so I'm not sure. They're not going to get out there and go 45 seconds. If they were true front runners, that probably would happen with this many front runners in the race. But they're more like horses that break well. But I think they're going to kind of get into a bit of a speed duel. So I'm looking at 47 seconds in the opening half. I don't think it'll reach 46. Could reach 46. I think it is going to be 47, though. They'll respect that 9 furlongs. Like I said, I think Mr. Peaks will get out there, have the lead. But I don't think he's going to be able to make it. I think there's going to be several horses near that lead. I think once one of them starts to move, the other ones are going to start to move, and then it's going to be. I think they're going to kind of drag each other all out of gas. I mean, they're not going to go for it. They're not going to chill. They're going to be right in that, well, we want to keep you here, and the horse is going to get confused. Should I go? Do I not go? Do I move over here? I'm going to try to get position, and the horses don't like to do that. I mean, I've never been a horse, but, I mean, I've run before, and that's not an effective way to run for anybody. You want to know when you're going to go and when you're not going to go. And a lot of times in these races, they want to try to rate the horse so much, it just messes up the rhythm. That's the best way to put it. It messes up the rhythm. I think that's what's going to happen to the majority of the horses in this race. So I think that once it's all said and done, Forte's just going to make the move and get the win. I think he's going to win going away. Probably going to be a big Derby favorite. I'm not that huge of a fan of him. I've seen lots of horses coming into this point in their careers which look better than Forte does at this point. However, it is what it is. You gotta beat the horses that you face. And I think he's going to deal with these horses pretty easily, honestly. I mean, and that's just what it is. Now, as I was saying before, I think the play in this one's really going to be in the exotics. I mean, you can try to bet against a horse like this to win. I don't really recommend it unless you really feel like the horse is overrated. And I don't think his odds will have him overrated compared to this field. So, you can go for that if you want, or you can look at some exotics. Now, I got second. I like the W&L horse. So I'm going with the Ortiz brother Exacta in this one. I ride up front, Jose behind him, especially in the rain. I said if you get the rain, I like W&L possibly to steal the victory. But I think the horse has shown a lot of resilience, especially running through the slop. I mean, and Sam F. Davis, don't like him coming out of that race. Hard to take a horse coming second after his last out was like that, but it's a different situation here. So I'm still going with him second, even though that was kind of a tough call. Because I probably will be mixing up these plays a little bit. Third, though, I did go with the 10 Fort Bragg, Joel Rosario. I did kind of want to have him second. But I don't know. I just don't think he's got the speed, and I just don't think the way that the pace is going to play out. I just think he's going to be too close to the front, and I think that this W&L horse will be able to move past. It's the best way I could put it. So I got Fort Bragg running third. Fourth place, I had the 9 Cyclone Mischief. He's a decent horse. Castellano's got the win in this race before, so and he's another one that's not going to be. He'll probably be near the pace, but I think Castellano will rate him well enough, I think, to get him in there. Now, I played around with going with the Nautical Star. Out of these horses these two horses, the 5 and the 6, Nautical Star is the one that's not really the front running horse. If he keeps off this pace enough, um, and he can go the distance, Nautical Star could be that shocker. So if you're looking for something as a shocker, like I said, Nautical Star. If you're looking for something to play in a exotic running behind Forte, Nautical Star I think could be in play as well, just because of the running style. Got experience at the track. It could just work out that way. This is one that's tough. Some races, it's always tough to pick the winner of a race, let alone pick second, third, fourth. I mean, this isn't easy stuff here. This isn't like just sitting around saying that Microsoft stock's going to go up. All right, this is serious business. All right, so it's a tough call always, but especially when you're going with this kind of competition, and then you're going up against this kind of favorite, trying to figure out who's going to shake out behind him. So Nautical Star, I think, would probably be in play if you're looking for an exotic. But that's just not the way I had it. If I'm going to handicap a race like this, I really have to see something that the horse can make this extra 2 furlongs. See nothing out of these other two horses. They didn't win these 6 furlong races going away. The times weren't that great, so I'm not gonna go with my main pick with those 6 furlongers being able to get out there. So there we have it. I'm going with Forte with the win, as most of you probably figured out. The number 12 W&L I got running second. Going with the 10 Joe Rosario and Fort Bragg, and that Bob Baffert Proxy Tim Yak teen horse. And then number in the 4th slot, I'm going with the 9 once again. The Cyclone Mischief Castellano. So there we have it. As usual, let me know what you think in the comment section, and I will see y'all after the race. Also, we have a Florida Derby coming up, or sorry, Arkansas Derby coming up as well. Try to get that video out later on today.